Hey guys, and welcome to my Survival Hunter general guide, basic guide, leveling guide, general Survival Hunter life guide. Survival's changed for the better. Surfing, there's just a ton of abilities to cover actually, because most of our stuff's kind of new, but mainly I play BM. I've taken to Survival actually since the pre-patch, so it's a mix-up between these two for me honestly right now, but Survival, if no one plays it, I'll play it, because it does seem very fun. In this video, I'll be going over talents, rotation abilities, and then just kind of general stuff to keep in mind. First thing, honor talents. You're playing on war mode, survival tactics, dragon skill armor, roar sacrifice. There's also other talents you could take. Some are good, some are bad. Mending bandage is just a heal, 30% damage. Heals for 30% damage over 6 seconds. 30% damage is very odd. 30% damage. Maybe they meant 30% health. That doesn't make sense. Anyway, mending bandage, something to keep in mind if you're playing on war mode. Otherwise, I usually take these talents. I'll go over our main abilities right now. And talents following. Mongoose Bite, physical damage. It's pretty much a buffed up Raptor Strike if you get it beyond like 2 stacks, I'd say. The other ability, kill command, also have a slash pet attack macro. If you don't know what that is, it's pretty much when you make a normal ability and then have your pet ability followed with it, so slash use kill command slash pet attack, and then you can also put your pet's other ability. And for this pet, I'm pretty sure it would be bite. Yep, so you'd want to macro that in as well. I haven't macroed for my spirit beast, so that's why it says claw. Another thing here is your major cooldown. This for survival is coordinated assault, and then I macro that with blood fury, and then whatever trinket I have. Going over talents in the near future. I always want to skip the talents because they're kind of the most important thing, and they're the thing everyone cares about. So coordinated assault just increases the damage, and then kill command resets more often. Exhilaration for a heal, flare to get people out of stealth. You have a stun baseline. It's pretty nice. I like it a lot. You also have an enrage. It's pretty much a bloodlust, so hunters have bloodlust now. Kill command. It's different than BM kill command in the fact that it doesn't do as much damage, but it regenerates focus. It also has a chance to reset. So if I use it on this guy, it just might reset automatically. But pretty much whenever you use this, you have a 15% chance for it to reset, and it just provides you with extra focus, as it did there. It reset and just gave me a chance to get extra focus, 15 exactly, but that's part of our toolkit now. Also, Surf and Sting is just a dot you can apply to people. It does good damage over time. The initial damage isn't that much, but that can be changed with a talent. And our talents actually play very uniquely with our abilities, which is something I really like about survival right now. Something to keep in mind is your mastery. You and your pet's focus spending abilities deal increased damage, and then you also heal every 5 seconds. So you now have Spirit Bond, which was an ability for like 5 expansions for BM, but now that's only available to survival, which is weird, but it is what it is. Harpoon's a gap closer. It's pretty much like our huge gap closer as a melee hunter. I'm pretty sure it has the same range as most of our abilities. So this is what, 30 yards? Yeah, 30-yard range, and it just sends you to the target. So we'll go over talents here. Any of these talents are good for the most part. I think Terms of Engagement is like a shittier Murder of Crows, and it gives you focus. I mean, if you want to use it, then go for it. Personally, I really like Alpha Predator. Increases the damage of kill command, and then gives it 2 charges. 2 charges makes it so you are 2 times more likely to get procs. And if you get a lot of procs constantly, it just keeps on giving you charges, so something to think about. And these are personal talents. Like, you can play whatever talents you really want, and you'll probably be viable. But these are just the talents I'm going to run, and these would be the talents I suggest to other people. Viper's Venom would be good, just for the extra Surf and Sting damage. And this also plays uniquely with Hydra's Bite, which I'll talk about later. Increases the initial damage of your Surf and Sting, which is what I bitched about earlier. Pretty much going to make it do 250% increased initial damage, which is going to be a 1.4k nature damage hit, followed by a 1.9k over 11 seconds, so that's not bad. For the 30 row, Butchery is the same as it was before. Reduces the cooldown on Wildfire Bomb. Could be very good for AoE situations. Mythics, this would be great. Personally, I really like Guerrilla Tactics. Gives your Wild Bomb 2 charges, increases the explosion damage by 100%, makes your bombs kind of just hit harder. Hydra's Bite's also another thing. Hydra's Bite with Viper's Venom would be the best Mythic Plus, I believe, build, because initial damage on 3 Serpent Stings would be very good, and then you apply dots to those as well. So, for Mythics, you're going to want to run these two, but for PvP or questing, I'm going to run these two. The 45 row is the same as other Hunter rows, or specs, where it's kind of just preference. Personally, I always take Natural Mending. The 60 row, I don't use Steel Trap. I don't really like it. I know a lot of people don't like it. It can be good, but I don't think the damage is really worth it anymore. Murder of Crows is something you can always use. It does what it says, and that's just extra damage. And then it resets if the target dies, so very good for questing. And then 60 would be... I personally take Bloodseeker a lot in PvP. I do like the increased attack speed, and then the damage over time, so rogues can't stealth, ferals can't stealth, and you can always just have your pet on them, and you can also heal them with men pet. Also just very good in general. I think it's good. I like having extra haste or attack speed. For the 75 row, post haste, I always take post haste. You can also take Binding Shot if you just want the root and kind of crowd control. For the 90 talent, you can try Tip of the Spear. I personally haven't used it, but it's pretty much the same thing as a Mongoose Bite proc, except it doesn't stack, and it just naturally happens whenever you kill command, but I don't find myself kill commanding that often to really enjoy this talent. Personally, I just like Mongoose Bite because it just increases the damage of one of your main abilities, and you don't really have to think about it. Flanking Strike's also good. It's a good cooldown. It does good damage, gives you focus. I'd just rather take Mongoose Bite. These are really up to you. There's nothing that's... I'm sure there's something that's officially better than something else, but personally I just play whatever you feel like playing here. And that's what you should do with talents, in my opinion. Just play whatever you think is fun. But if you care about what's good, Icy Veins is a very good website to look into. For the 100 talents, I really like Wildfire Infusion. I don't even consider these other two. Chakrams is the same thing as Throglaive was in Cataclysm, and it pretty much just does physical damage, and then Birds of Prey is pretty much a duration extender on your 20% damage increase, which I talked about earlier. Personally, I really like the Wildfire Infusion. Pretty much makes it so there's 3 types of bombs for your bomb throw. There's a poison one, which does extra damage and reapplies the duration of your Serpent Sting. There's a pheromone one, which if you use it, it will always refresh your kill command and make the proc always happen, so you can just spam kill command. And there's a shrapnel one, which just gives a person a bleed whenever you Mongoose Bite them while they have this up. And I'll kind of showcase this in the rotation. I'll do a single target rotation, and then I'll do an AoE rotation. So for single target, you pretty much just dot them and have your pet attack. And this is pretty much it. You want to use your Wildfire Bomb. Whenever you use your Wildfire Bomb, since it was a Shrapnel Bomb, which is the one that applies a bleed, you want to use that. I'm going to use Serpent Sting here. This one's a Pheromone Bomb. The red one's a Pheromone Bomb. This is going to be tongue twister. Red is Pheromone, green is Poison, and then blue is the bleed. So, I should have used my bomb right there to refresh my Serpent Sting. That's just my mistake. And this is the rotation. I'll use my bomb here just because. The next bomb I got is the bleed bomb, so I want to kind of save my focus, use the bleed bomb, and then get a lot of lacerates off. I'm going to reapply Serpent Sting and use kill command here. No proc. Going to use my bomb, going to Mongoose Bite, get the 3 bleeds on them, and then use kill command just to regenerate a little bit of focus. And whenever you get kill command procs, you just, I guess, want to spend your focus, and then you want to get as many Mongoose Bites at end Mongoose stacks as much as possible. So like 3+, you're going to want to get a lot of Mongoose Bites off of your other abilities. And this is the rotation. Something to keep in mind is you can keep range and still do decent damage with Serpent Sting and the Pheromone Bomb. You can throw a Pheromone Bomb and then just kind of kill command forever. And then with this talent or ability, you can also just kind of play it. This is why people like Survival right now, I believe. Because you can just play at range like this for like 20 seconds. So this is really good for fights where you can have melee, but when there's something that's closing the fight between you and the boss, you can just use that ability and then be a ranged character. Your other cooldown, I didn't use it though, would be wherever this is. Coordinated assault, increased damage. We'll go over the AoE situation. AoE, it's the same thing. You can use Carve a little bit more instead of your Mongoose Bite, but not really sure how good it'll be in certain situations, but pretty much the same thing. Just press Carve a lot if you really want. Oh, there's a cooldown on it, so that makes sense. So, I personally haven't even tried AoE because I don't PvE a lot, and that's the main reason you're going to be AoEing, I suppose, but pretty much you want to use Carve every 5 seconds just to reduce the cooldown of your bomb, which is kind of your main ability, I say in hesitation. Main ability as in, it's the ability you're going to use over Mongoose Bite. And then, as I mentioned before, the Mythic build would be very good. I guess I'll showcase this here since I kind of talked about it, but... So, for Mythic Plus, you'd want to use Viper Venom and Hydra's Bite. So pretty much here, every time you Mongoose Bite, and it's going to suck because it doesn't interact with Carve, but every time you Mongoose Bite, you'll have a chance to proc this, which hopefully it procs sometime here soon. Awesome. Great showcase. There it goes. So you can use this. You'll see it just hits for 5k. The only shitty thing about this, I'd say, is that I guess you don't get a lot of focus back, and then your bombs are... I mean, it's good. I feel like the reduced stacks on kill command really slows it down a decent bit. And that's something I guess I don't really like, but it's not horrible. They should make it so this town interacts with your Carve, so that you'd actually get more stacks, or more procs, but you can use either of these. Either of these would work. You'd probably play with these two, but this is the leveling build I'm going with. This would be the Mythic build I'd be going with. And this is my PvP build as well. And that's kind of Survival Hunter. If you guys like the guide, give the video a thumbs up. Check out my social media in the description. The first link is the most important, and that would be my live stream. I stream every day, 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Pretty much play World of Warcraft all the time, so check that out if you want. If you guys like the video, then I guess that's good. Thumbs up if you really want. Don't really want to force you, but something to mention. And, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys liked the guide, and hopefully it helps you out. I hope you guys have a good time with BFA. I'm personally very excited. And, yeah, as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. And I'll see you guys later.